Hey, y'all, how are you tonight? Hope you're having a great day, have had a great day. Oh, so much was going on yesterday, and we had a significant storm and knocked our power out. And we went to bed, and it still wasn't on. But, oh, troubles, right? Went to the eye doctor today. My glasses have been broke for some time, and finally made an appointment and dilated my eyes, and that feels horrible, but it's starting to feel a little better. So I wanted to jump on here. There was so much going on yesterday, and I felt horrible that I couldn't get online and even watch the vigil. To be honest with you, I mean, I have my phone, but it's so small. You can only see and do so much on a phone, you know. But today. Uh, pretty sad. I mean, it seems like the vigil overall went well. Um, no madness or craziness, and which I was really happy to see. It really was. It did seem like everybody came together and just, for the most part, let it be about summer. You know, I watched a little of both. I didn't watch it all, but the one thing that that I couldn't believe, well, I can believe it, but Bullhorn Betty, I guess, went back down to the Warriors Park there where she went swimming at the horse stables in summer. And someone had come and raided all the little markers that people brought. I guess there were wind chimes and like little metal flowers and a little angel. And I don't know who would do that, but it's in poor taste. I mean, to say the very least. It, I just don't know how people think these days. I don't know how they think that's okay, how they justified it. Uh, my first thought, and I hate to say this, my first thought was, well, Jody Sue was threatening people, and thank God nothing happened to anyone while they were there. I, I'm very thankful for that. But did one of these people involved come and take take the markers that were left for summer out of the goodness of people's hearts? I don't understand, but you know, I mean, it could. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. It's pretty sickening. It's in poor taste, like I said. But the world that we live in, we can watch the news and see every day that no good is going on out there. Very little, anyways. Not going to say there's no good. There is a lot of good, but awful lot of ugly out there. And then another thing that I did notice is that Candace didn't speak up in, you know, to say anything about Summer being gone a whole year. I mean, it's been a long road for all of us who have followed this case, and and if Dawn and Candace, and I say if because we don't know. I mean, there's been a lot of other things that have popped up that's made me at least, I don't know. But then you got all the weird stuff that they say and do. It's hard to think that, well, they had nothing to do with it. I mean, they are the last ones that had Summer. Well, Grandis and Candace. But then you got Jody Sue washing her feet and all that weird stuff. I swear, you can't make this stuff up. It's just unbelievable. It really is. It's just unbelievable. But, it was kind of disheartening for Candace not to just acknowledge. she's been in the public's eye this whole time, not always speaking, but when Dawn got locked up, she was pretty out there, and we have heard that she's in Arkansas, but she does have a computer or a phone, and she has a YouTube channel. I don't know. It would just be hard as a mother for the 1 year mark to come up and you still don't have your baby. If you have nothing to do with it, I'd be like pleading, please, if you have her, if she's still out there somewhere, please, please, it's been a year, please let her, bring her home, drop her off somewhere, just anything. You know what I mean? No plea. I mean, we did see Don Wells wrote a little handwritten letter, so he did something. I'm gonna go ahead and share that. Let me mute out a minute. Well, there you have it. Um, I'm sure he's had a lot of time to sit and think. I'm sure he has. Most sober he's probably been in years and years and years. And I mean, who knows? He's probably going to be in there a long time. I'm going to have a lot more time to think, but we'll have to just wait and see how that goes. More, of course, his religious stuff. I don't know. Tim Mullen says that's the most real part of Dawn. I can't agree with him. I don't feel like that is true, but let's just assume for a minute that he's doesn't have anything to do with it. Then my heart would be broken. But just I shared like weird comments not long ago, like just kind of compiled all the weird stuff that he said, and just very descriptive, very, I don't know. I just don't know how a parent could think or even so much as utter those words out of their mouth, but I don't know. But it is kind of disheartening that we haven't heard from Candace. I don't know if she's in Arkansas for sure, but we have to assume she's drinking and partying probably. That's just my opinion, you know. Didn't really think a whole lot about the update from the TBI and, of course, Ronnie Lawson. I think I was Ronnie Lawson. I just didn't get that. To me, he didn't feel very sincere. That's just me. And I was kind of Look, I'm sure they get bombarded by all kinds of ridiculous tips, and I'm not going to uh, throw any channels under the bus or anything, but I have seen some really ridiculous things out there that they want you to believe this some things, and they're telling their people send it to the TBI, and I'm sitting here with my head in my hand in amazement that they would bother the TBI with something like that. So, uh, on one hand, I get it. I get why. Well, let's listen to this again, okay? Let's listen to this together. I know. Y'all have heard it. I may stop it a time or two. So let me mute out a minute and share my screen.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Leslie Earhart, a Public Information Officer for the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. Before we get started, I want to stress that the investigation into the disappearance of Summer Wells is very much active and ongoing. Please understand, in order to preserve the integrity of the investigation, we simply can't speak to specifics. We appreciate you being here today and your continuing coverage of this case. At approximately 6:30 p.m. on this day, 1 year ago, Summer Wells, who was 5 years old at the time, was reported missing from her bin in the Beech Creek community of Hawkins County. When we held the first media briefing on June 16th, honestly, we expected to have good news to report by the time the next media briefing came around. Unfortunately, instead, day after day ended in frustration and disappointment. At that time, no one expected that we would still be searching for Summer 1 year later. We've said from the beginning that this case is outside the norm. There are few clues as to what happened to Summer, despite investigators doing everything within their
Okay, let me just say something real quick. Okay, so she says, it's outside the norm. We all know that. I mean, we have been watching and picking this apart to death. And she's absolutely right. There is not one thing normal about this, starting with the numerous RSOs that surround the Wells home. And while Dawn is not a registered an RSO, he has charges and he's going to have to face those. The outcome is yet to be seen, but we could say even on that hill. So now it is frustrating that she says, well, we have no information, no leads, just poof, vanished off the face of the earth. That doesn't happen. So the fact that they still feel like they have no leads is highly frustrating to me. I mean, these are supposed to be the best of the best, right? Searching for Summer. So why? Is it because so many liars are in the picture? But no leads. And I honestly, I've said it before, I don't think that they processed the entire home or property in the most effective way. I think that they probably overlooked a lot of evidence. That's just my take on it. Um, okay, let me just pause out again and let's watch a little more.
Power to find answers. All possibilities are still being explored. Many of you have asked for details about what's been done over the last year. I can tell you agents and detectives have spent thousands of hours on this case. Numerous search warrants have been executed, cell phone data has been analyzed, and any other available digital evidence has been collected, searched, and documented. This includes the social media accounts of those associated with Summer. Three large ground searches have taken place in the last year with the assistance of more than 100 local, state, and federal.
I'm just curious. She said that cell phone data, all of that, social media accounts have been combed through. Now, I wonder if they have, she said numerous warrants have been executed. Okay. We know that they have gone and spoke with Jody Sue uh, on a number of occasions because she told us that. But I wonder if they look at cell phone data from the people in the area, right? Or is it just on Candace and Grandis? I mean, surely to goodness, no, right? I don't know. But it is frustrating that they have no answers. They still sound like they don't know anything. I don't know. Okay, let's go on.
Agencies. Those searches do not account for the numerous targeted searches done by agents and detectives as they were following up on potential leads. From TBI alone, more than 100 agents, intelligence analysts, and support staff from across the state have been involved in this case. TBI agents working alongside the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office and the FBI have conducted nearly 170 interviews during the investigation. That does not count the hundreds of phone calls made to follow up on tips reported to.
Okay, I do want to just jump in here real quick. I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep pausing, but it does make me feel a little better that the FBI TBI is also working with Hawkins County because I feel sure that I'm sure all this attention is a lot of pressure on the Hawkins County Sheriff's Department, even though we're not any further ahead. Um, like I've said before, I think there are people right there in that area that know exactly what's happened. That's just my opinion. I got nothing to back that up other than people's lies and their behaviors. I mean, and you can got to look at that. All right, let's go on.
Law enforcement. While investigators have been diligently working to find answers, they've had to deal with thousands of tips generated by false information that, in some cases, has been intentionally spread across social media platforms. We know that this case has attracted the attention of individuals across the country who genuinely care about Summer and want nothing more but to help us find answers. We appreciate those people. However, we are also aware that there are some people using this case for their own personal gain by spreading false information on social media posts as facts. Some go as far as to solicit donations. This has had a major impact on the investigation and not in a good way. Moving forward, we ask the public not to submit tips as a result of a video they viewed on YouTube or a theory they've seen posted on Facebook. Please help us and only call if you have direct, specific information
Okay, gotta say something. All right, I get what she's saying. We do not need to be calling the TBI unless we have something concrete. It's not just a hearsay or we talk about a lot of theories. All creators do. I mean, that's really all we can do is theorize and try to make the most sense of this, right? And like I said, there are some off the wall people I've seen, and I can't even believe some of the things they say. But it also makes me think of day one, Jody Sue Brown is spinning her narrative. I mean, even going so far as to kind of, it sounds like to me, direct Dawn and Candace from the beginning. Uh, I don't know if you agree with me, but I mean, I wonder if they are taking a good hard look at. I mean, as hard as it is to listen to those hours and hours and hours of videos that she's putting out and supposed to have all the information, right? I mean, she's supposed to be the go-to, right? I got the information, I got the answers, um, and 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 she's right. There's a lot of people that have made money off of Summer. I mean, it's pretty obvious. A lot of donations coming in, and you know, all I can say is that creators do put a lot of work into stuff they do, but nobody is making people donate. I mean, if someone wants to donate money, that's between them and the person they're watching. Who am I to say you can't donate to someone? I'm not going to say that. That's totally the people who are listening to the channels. That is totally their perspective. That whatever they want to do, that's their money. But I get what she's saying. I see frustration in her face. We're all frustrated, you know. Summer's still gone. We don't have any answers per TBI. So, yeah, it is frustrating. Uh, okay, listen some more.
About the disappearance of Summer. This investigation weighs heavily on us all, and I can promise you that no one wants answers more than we do, and we are not going to stop until we find them. I'm going to turn it over to Sheriff Ronnie Lawson.
Good morning. As Leslie mentioned, we didn't expect this case to be going on a year later. It's hard looking for Summer. We'll continue to do so. There's never been a case in the history of Hawkins County Sheriff's Office that had officers working 365 days and had so many hours spent as we had in this investigation. Also, this office has never utilized so many different local, state, and federal agencies from across the state. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, the Federal Bureau of Investigation assists us in every step of this investigation. As you heard Leslie say, thousands of hours have been invested in finding Summer. 170 interviews.
He doesn't look like he's losing sleep over it to me. He's probably losing more sleep over, this is just my opinion, more sleep over the fact that TBI, FBI is right there watching what they're doing. I don't know. You know, the I personally think that the uppers, the PIs only did that search as kind of a PR stunt, right before the vigil. They said there's been 3 major searches. There, I just feel like, who was it? Somebody that went out there yesterday was at the vigil said that they had been some areas that haven't been searched. And why is that? Why is that not searched? Does make me wonder, you know. Uh, I like to think that they have. I wish EquiSearch would come back and give it another go. That's what I'd like to see happen. And why wouldn't the community say, go ahead, search? Why would anybody, I mean, not just anytime they want, but why would you object to having a team go through your property completely, thoroughly? Uh, if if I was in that area, I'd be like, shoot, yeah, get out there and see if she's out there. You know, I don't know. All right, I don't know. Just let me pause out.
Abuse been done. Many of these individuals have spoken to more than one time. While we haven't settled the time about investigative action that's taken place, please know that we've never stopped. I think we appreciate the many rescue squads, the EMAs, and volunteer fire departments for their help. And the support from the citizens and the communities of this county is just unbelievable and overwhelming. With the encouragement we get with food during the searches we've done, and all the law enforcement officers, agencies throughout the state of Tennessee, it's just phenomenal how everybody pitched in and helped us with these searches and with this investigation. And many of you have asked why that we didn't recruit private citizens to assist in these searches. With extreme danger.
I want to say something about that. He's saying why we didn't recruit citizens. These property owners probably know their property better than anyone that could come in and help search. And if I recall correctly, they even allowed Frank Light to search his property and was out on horseback helping to look. So I sure as heck wouldn't have somebody like that helping. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion, but it seems like that they would be more than happy to have people who own that property and probably have walked it 100 times to lead a little group and go through. I mean, that's just me, but I don't know. It's just a ball of sunshine, this one.
Terrain that we were experiencing in searches, we were able to monitor each group and movement and their location. That way we knew that everybody came back to the command post safely. After initial searches, then we had to go back and obtain the landowner's permission to search again. We could not allow or even grant permission for private individuals on these people's property. While I can promise you that we will continue to conduct target searches in the Beach Creek area as new information is developed, we'll also continue to follow up on any legitimate leads. And it's been the goal of this team since day one to find Summer. We've never stopped, we've never slowed down, we deal with it every day. And that's the whole purpose of this, to let you all know, despite what you hear, what you see, we haven't stopped. The men and women of these agencies have worked tireless.
Let me just say something. If they would give just a little bit of information, and it doesn't have to be like any big details. Well, obviously, they don't have any big details because they're saying they have no information. If they would just give something, anything, it might jog someone's memory or something like that. I don't see the harm in, for example, releasing the 911 call. Why can't they do that? I've heard 911 calls on other cases. Why is this one a big secret? Why is everything such a big secret? I just don't understand that. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but
hours and hours and hours. And I commend every one of them for the job they've done, and we're gonna continue till we find something.
Now, as I mentioned, we can't speak to specifics, but we will take a few questions.
A few months ago, you guys said that the parents were not cooperating anymore. Has there been any changes in that, especially as Don Wells is incarcerated here in this facility?
We're not going to characterize cooperation at this time. Honestly, doing so does nothing but create more speculation, and it doesn't benefit the investigation. But thank you for asking.
Is there still a reward being offered if any information or summer is found?
Well, I can tell you that law enforcement did not coordinate that reward, so you would need to reach out to the Churchill Rescue Squad for information in that aspect.
Are the boys still in DC's custody?
That's not something we can speak to.
We do know that last year you guys pushed out some information about the red truck. I know that this is on here, but just so we, can talk about it with you guys. Is that still something you're looking for? Do you still want people to submit tips, or is that over and we're just not looking for the red truck anymore?
I'm going to call on TBI Special Agent in charge here at Newport just to talk about that and where that stands.
I would tell you yes, just to eliminate. We still don't have a good timeline of when that was observed. People that frequent areas on a regular basis can get days mixed up. We still want to figure out who, if possible, and if that's even a legitimate lead. So as she said earlier, we followed a lot of dead leads that didn't produce anything. So that obviously is still something we want to put to bed, but it's not. We still can't pinpoint a date and exact location of that truck.
Anybody else?
When this first came out, you guys said that Summer was last seen walking away from her home. That was like one of the initial reports that night. And then things kind of changed the following days. There's any evidence that she walked home, or any evidence leading toward an abduction, or do we have any evidence of anything that night otherwise?
We don't have anything specific, and I think what's important to note there is that the sheriff mentioned that how many hours we've put into this investigation and how much time has been spent exploring every possibility: walk off, abduction, other foul means. And I think that's the thing to keep in mind is it's really wide open as to the what. We try to stay away from developing theories and just follow facts.
You mentioned that you're continuing.
they're just going to follow facts. They're not going to look at, I think you got to look at theories, don't you? They have nothing. They don't have any evidence that she walked away, no evidence that someone took her. Well, everyone has said little girls don't just disappear. And that goes back to, why didn't they process the home in a different manner? You know what I'm saying? Instead of just like looking for her in the home, I think I would have been fingerprints. They didn't even do forensics on the vehicles that I've ever heard. That bothers me. They kind of dropped the ball there, if you ask me. I mean, but then again, you have so many people in and out of the house, But you know what? Take all those prints. Go talk to every single print that was found in that house. That'd be a great place to start, but a little late now.
Going to look at this case every day. Are there more searches planned as we're approaching the summer months?
No specific plan. However, if we get get specific information about a specific location, building, what have you, we will coordinate with each other to go take a look at that location. What made it hard back in the summer is obviously the foliage. That's why you saw the two searches that were when the leaves were on the ground, so that we could use air assets and that you could actually see more of what's on the ground at the time. And people say, well, leaves to cover things up. Well, moving things around enough, you'll see what you're looking for.
In the past, you said that there's no evidence that there was an abduction. Does that still stand?
It still stands.
Do the facts point towards one theory more than another?
No, they don't.
What happened?
Not this point.
Thank you guys for being here. I just want to point out one more thing. This case is not cold. We get asked that a lot. It's not. We're talking to the sheriff constantly. We all work together as one team, and we're determined to find answers. Thank you for coming.
I don't know. Does that make y'all feel any better? I'm kind of disappointed. They gave us absolutely nothing that they haven't said before, which was nothing. There is also a clip. Now I haven't seen this, but I think that it's going to be interesting. I guess WJHL talked to Chris Madonna, and he's saying just the opposite, that, social media can be a great tool if utilized properly. And I think that just their tight-lipped way of dealing with Summer's disappearance has not been helpful in any way. And, let's just have a listen together. How about?
Summerwell's father, Don, was not far from this press conference today, but he was incarcerated for violating his probation over a DUI charge. Now, the parents' actions have unfolded on social media several different times, and today the TBI said that unfortunately, some people like YouTube content creators are using this case for personal gain and soliciting donations. But I did speak with one YouTube content creator who has a former law enforcement background, and he tells me that if used correctly, social media can be a help.
So this is a powerful tool if utilized correctly and embraced by LE as a whole, because this is the 21st century now.
Social media rumors and YouTube sleuths have clouded the Summerwells case.
I've interviewed thousands of people, from serial killers to ministers. Welcome to the interview room.
But one has taken it by storm, with thousands of views and lives talking about the disappearance of the Hawkins County girl.
Well, if the family stops cooperating, that's a red flag. That's not a good thing. You need the family to cooperate in the investigation to help you.
He's been on the ground in Beach Creek talking with Summer's mother and even going inside the Wells home.
I talked to the folks at the church. I went around to all the points of contact that were related publicly, as well as what she told me behind the scenes. I went to all the various locations, and I was also trying to contact Don and speak with him, but for 4 or 5 days, he avoided me for some reason.
The interview room has the only interview with a 15-year-old Candace, and he say spent the entire day with her, Summer, and her grandmother on June the 15th.
I asked him to make sure that all of this information had been provided by the FBI, and he said, or to the FBI, and he said yes. In fact, they had interviewed him 3 separate times, and there was some of that interview was edited because I felt that some of the information that he was providing at the time should not be out into the public arena.
Chris McDonough was in law enforcement in Southern California for more than 25 years. Over half of it was in homicide work. Now, along with hosting the interview room, he's the law enforcement relationship director for the Cold Case Foundation.
Law enforcement is focusing around that area for a reason. They've not, they're not chasing leads out of state that I'm aware of anyway. Everybody seems to keep coming back to that property area.
Although a year has passed since Summer disappeared, her name and image need to stay fresh.
Gosh, it's hard not to get frustrated, you know? It really is. I think they keep coming back there because there's so many criminals and criminal types coming into the area. I think they got to look at everybody. I mean, I know they probably are, but I really feel like people know, and it is a real shame that, you know, playing that jailhouse rule, I saw nothing, I know nothing, I speak nothing, is really part of what is hindering finding Summer. I really think so. Just the way that the parents have acted, they're definitely, in my opinion, scared of somebody in that area, maybe more than one person. I mean, we've heard Candace say, "Oh, she's worried about her life," and then Dawn saying, "Oh, it's an automatic death sentence if you speak." I mean, come on, there's something bigger happening in that area. I, this poor little baby girl. And I just want to say again how sickening it is that someone would come just not even a day later and destroy like the little memorial that people put down there at Warriors Park for summer, and for someone to come down there and just destroy it and steal those items is someone with a low moral compass, I guess you could say. Not even a day. It didn't even make it a day. That's so sad. Well, I guess I'll end this here for now. Hope y'all have a great evening, and let's stay like-minded in prayer for Summer. Y'all have a good night.